Welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, the improvisation programme in which anything can happen, but usually doesn't unless it's off camera or too late. But forming the brigade of guards in the battle of wits tonight, we have first of all Stephen Fry, the writer, actor, comedian and egghead, once described as a Renaissance man by somebody with a very poor idea of which century we're living in. Then Josie Lawrence, once described as a Renaissance man by somebody with a very poor eye. Next, N. Rytell, who shot to overnight success as TV's Lucky Jim in the 1970s, has been solidly in and out of work as an actor and impersonator ever since. And finally, John Sessions, who, as far as this show is concerned, is absolutely irreplaceable. And goodness knows we've tried. Ladies and gentlemen, the contestants. Now, the first game is called Authors, and each of the contestants has come along with a famous author in mind, ready to tell a story in that author's style. So if you'd like to come forward to the author's position, right down there. Now, Stephen, which author have you selected for tonight?
Well, it's the 1001 Arabian Nights.
Ah, 1001 Arabian Nights. We don't know the name of the author.
Work of many hands.
Well, many hands,
right.
Yes. Avoiding that temptation. Josie.
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley, yes, jolly good. N.
Dashiell Hammett.
Dashiell Hammett, why not? And John.
Frank Richards.
Frank Richards, what, the Billy Bunter man.
That's the one.
Yes, jolly good. Right, now what we need is a title for a story, please. So if somebody in the audience could suggest a title for a story for them to tell, to improvise.
The Day I Became a Merchant Banker.
The Day I Became a Merchant Banker. So it's an autobiographical piece from the gentleman in the audience there. So, Stephen, starting on our buzz when we move on to the next one. The Day I Became a Merchant Banker.
Once, oh, olive of my dreams, there was a certain merchant travelling between Isfahan and Basra who lost his way. Not such a certain merchant, after all. A rather uncertain merchant. Oh, stiff-thighed child of my hopes. This merchant banker had two sons, Kazim and Iqbal. Useful leg break bowler.
But these two sons only belonged to part of him. One son belonged to his left leg and the other to his right. For this merchant banker was a man born of many parts, a man created by man, a man without a soul, a man who burnt in the fires of Beelzebub. The villagers were after the merchant banker. They were sorely overwrought and overdrawn.
I was overdrawn, but I didn't care. My partner Miles had been killed earlier that day. So I strolled down to Jerry's bar on the corner of 576th and 829th. I strolled through the bar into the back room. The guys were shooting craps. Hell, you know, what they do for kicks is none of my business. So I said,
Hello, said the booming, merry voice of Bob Cherry. What are you doing here, you frabjous, fat-footling owl? I'm going to get some long bonds and go into gilt, said Bunter. Oh, draw it, Miles, said Morley, throwing a pushed pincushion across the room. Come on, don't be the giddy-ox with us. What are you really doing, you fat-foozling, chocolate-snuffling clunker? Well, I don't know, said Bunter, but I think, actually, I'm going to break wind. No!
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think on that intellectual note, I'll introduce a scoring system, and it'll be 18 points for everybody in that game. This next round is called Storytell, and this features Stephen Fry telling a story. So if you'd like to come here ready to tell your story, Stephen. And the others are going to be over there to be brought in as characters in the story. But the story is going to be suggested to us by somebody in the studio audience, so I'll just go and find somebody to embarrass into telling us a story. So you've got a sort of skiing motif on your jumper, so you're obviously somebody who likes wearing skiing motifs on their jumper.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Peter.
Peter, that's right. It's a perfectly good name. Now, can you give the title of a story for Stephen to tell?
Tarzan and the Lagerlouts.
Tarzan and the Lagerlouts. You've come prepared with that one, haven't
Yeah.
you? It's supposed to be an improvised show. And we want a moral, so... that's what I think. Now, can you think of a moral that this story could illustrate?
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes, perfectly good moral, I'd have thought. So the story is Tarzan and the Lagerlouts, and the moral is don't put your eggs in one basket.
Great.
Okay, Stephen, where you go.
Are you sea constable? Then I'll begin. Deep, deep in the jungle, just off junction 7 of the M4, Tarzan moved across the savannah. He mouthed erotically.
It's ever so hot in the jungle. I could really vow to the lollies of them monkeys up there.
Jane swung casually in.
Oh, Lord, look at that.
Hello, Tarzan. Sorry about that. I feel a bit tipsy.
Oh, look at the state of your hair. Don't you do anything with it? Look at it. It's all over the place.
Well, Cheetah does it for me. What do you expect? I've heard a ugly monkey.
She said crossly.
Oh, I've got a terrible headache. I don't know what to do.
Why can't you be like the Tarzan in all the storybooks? Why can't you be a bit more butch?
Butcher at all. It's all rubbish.
But it was 9 o'clock in the evening, and the pubs of Aylesbury were beginning to empty.
Oh, get out. Aye, this is Fenchurch Street. Aye.
Said this fine, upstanding pride of the home counties. Suddenly, and really without any warning at all...
Excuse me.
vomited.
You can have that later. Do you want a lager, by the way? Sorry, I'm being very rude.
I'll try one.
You're very common, aren't you?
Tarzan's patience was beginning to wear thin. He decided to kick the lager out very hard in the stomach.
Oh, just sit down over here if you don't mind.
But he did so all the same, though the lager was sitting down. And the lager caught first one leg of Tarzan's, which he held in his hand. And then the other he caught. And the moral of the story is don't put all your legs in one basket.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, very good.
Well, that bizarre combination of Tarzan with Round the Horn, brilliantly acted by everybody. I think 10 points there, but for that brilliant ending there, Stephen, I think you deserve a bonus, so a half point extra for you. Now, this next game is called The World's Worst, and everybody plays part in this, so if you like, or takes part in it, if you'd like to come forward on the world's worst step there, ready to step forward with the world's worst person or world's worst thing to say when being introduced to a member of the royal family. So just as you think of them, I'll buzz when I've got the idea. World's worst person to be or thing to say.
Hello, you're still living in the 50s. How extraordinary. Cigarette?
What's some skull on that bit?
Sorry.
I didn't say that. No, it's odd. In fact, I didn't say that. It's very odd. I'm sorry. Sorry.
You look taller on spitting image.
Oh, hello, Prince Charles. I wonder if you'd like to be invited to our annual Christmas dinner. I'm a member of the Architects Association.
Yeah, it's really funny what happened to the Roman officers. Blood everywhere. We're down in this basement. Really sad.
That reminds me, I must buy a stamp.
No, we have met before, actually. It was the Widmore Club, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, Your Majesty, I won't curtsy if you don't mind. I've got a cold and I'm dripping from every orifice.
Is it that you do breathe and don't go to the toilet, or is it the other way round?
Majesty.
Really, this is a sort of middle-class German family, really, aren't they?
That's so good. Let's stop it there, and I'll... Yeah, oh, no, applaud if you want to. But for some reason, I need a few minutes to add up the points on this particular round, which gives them time to show some adverts to you, so back soon. Yes. Yeah, they were fantastic. A fantastic set of ads. So 24 points to everybody for that last round. Now, this next round is called props. And in this one, they divide into pairs again. And I want to give you, John and Stephen, this item. And you've got to come up with many different ideas of ways of using that item. As we rotate the other pairing of Josie and N. It's slightly difficult to get out, but... that's your item.
What do you do with that?
I've no idea. It doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. So we'll buzz between the two pairs. Many different ideas you can think of. Away you go, Stephen and John. You go first.
Matron, I was playing frisbee and...
Yes? You threw it really hard.
No, I don't want much of a nose job, really. I was just a little bit off the end.
And in the summer, Saturn will proceed all the way around. All the way around. It'll come back for the winter solstice. And now I'm going to talk to another maniac, Raymond.
Sunrise early in the morning.
Well, I was lying around in the rubble for ages, and then he just dug me up. You know what I mean?
My problems all started the day my father told me he was about to marry a ginormous grub.
Come closer, Mishton. Closer to the silly piece of plastic we have in the centre of the studio to indicate some faraway hypothetical century. Have you been on Blake 7 before?
And how many of these are in the packet? It had to happen. And it's enormous! It's huge! It's a huge throw from Fatima!
A very convincing javelin, I must say. Yeah.
Finished.
Yes, it is you. Yes, sorry.
Me, woman! Me, woman!
Fatima.
Try and keep the stomach really firm. And just don't try and do too much at once. If you've got a partner who's prepared to copulate with you, then that's all for you. That's right. You can do it. So, like that. Don't try and do too much at once. It's the main thing. Thank you, darling.
Yeah.
No, trust me, it's a revolution in endoscopy.
It's fine. We'll have a look and see what's down there, shall we?
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Oh, I see it. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. All right. I think I'll just leave that there. Well, that's easily the best props we've had ever, and 1 point each. Now, the next round is called Different Games. Different games are played in this round, starting with John and N. And you're going to play a game called Couples. So could you come forward to play Couples? And we're going to give you a situation to improvise in, and we want a sort of variety of different couples who might be doing it. And we'll start you off. I'm going to start you off with one, and then we'll get suggestions from the audience as we go along. So your situation to improvise is...
It's a funny physical gag. You've done a lot in the vaudeville, you know what I mean?
Funny walking.
Well, now we've settled on. A fortune teller and the customer who's gone to have their fortune told. Start you off with the pair doing it as Dustin Hoffman and Laurence Olivier. Okay, and if you could be ready with some suggestions like sort of David Steele, David Owen, Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, things like that. Just ready, one clear suggestion from somebody when I buzz. So starting off, Dustin Hoffman and Laurence Olivier, fortune teller and client.
Dustin, we're going to do this picture. What's it called? Marathon bar or something? Tell me if I'm going to act you off the frigging stage, baby. I'm sure
let
I
me
am.
look at this crystal ball here.
Yes, it's one of yours, isn't it?
We're gonna make a movie called Made in Taiwan.
No, they're going to make a movie called very short, Italian-looking, sweaty actor worrying too much about things that brilliant people do naturally!
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to have another pair to be doing... Edward Fox and Donald Sinden. Well, there's a real wacky suggestion for these two, but...
Would you like the cards, or
Yes, I'll take the cards.
would you like the clairvoyance? Because I'm very clairvoyant.
Yes, I suppose you are.
So we'll make a choice.
Yes.
No, I've made your choice for you.
Yes?
You want the clairvoyance.
I do.
And you want to make you're going to do a series called
I'm gonna do
Edward
a-
the Seventh 2.
Now I'm going to do a series called Thank God There's No Nasty Working Class People Around Me Holding Their Knives Like Pencils and Smelling of Turnips.
Okay. No, another pair, please. Sorry, say that again. Vincent Price and Alec Guinness. Got some helpers in tonight, I think.
I want to know whether any words on the blackboard of life can be said slower than the way I say them.
Beyond the stars and the universe shalt thou fly. Thou shalt fly to Obi-Wan Knob.
I have been...
Okay, another pairing. Sean Connery and Dame Edna. Where you go?
Sean Connery. Well, you're going to spend the rest of your life.
It's funny, you know,
Dressed as a
Sean.
woman.
Yes, I know.
Which, and something else is coming through here.
You've got a very hairy bum, haven't you, Sean? Very hairy bum, and I think you're a little bit conscious of the fact you've not got as much hair as you'd like to have, darling.
I think I've got to put my
please.
trousers on this morning.
Yes.
Sorry? Fred Flintstone, Barney Rubble. At least a genuine pairing at last.
Hiya, Fred.
Hey, Barney. You're gonna have a hard day today. You got to mow the lawn and let's get away from the girls.
Okay, but what about Wilma? Do you think Wilma's like us with little black dots instead of eyes?
No, Wilma's gonna be reincarnated.
Do you know what I want to know? Look in the crystal ball and say, why when we bend over, don't you ever see our balls coming out from underneath those funny little short things we wear?
Because we're not Sean Connery, that's why.
Okay, all right. Another couple of pair. Another pair. Reagan and Gorbachev. Where you go?
You be Reagan. Well, you know, I can see a kind of
England
bright...
swings like a pendulum. Hobbies on bicycles, 2 by 2.
No, that's end of that. Thank you very much.
What happened to fortune telling?
Well,
Just making impersonations.
oh, truly spectacular, and 43 points that deserves. So it's going to get 22. Right, now the next game features Josie and Stephen, and they're going to be playing a game called Wrong Theme Tune. What we're going to get them to do is to improvise the beginning of a programme, television programme. I'd like to come forward to do it. And the programme we'd like you to do is a documentary on contraception, OK? But in the style of the theme tune, which you're going to hear now, just played in for you now.
Hello! It was absolutely terrifying. But I remember how Martin told me to strap it on, and I clung on for dear life.
John, we're going to show them a few things they can do, aren't we?
That's right. Now, do remember, if possible, I don't know what the current lots sound like, I'm afraid.
Get down, Shep.
I was in bed by 5 o'clock, I don't know. The important thing is you do ask your parents' permission. If you're going to go into their room and you're going to borrow some of their sexual apparatus, some of their coils and things like that, they're very delicate, so do ask your mother if you can take it out first. Don't just take it out of your mother's
Yes, John.
uterus.
And also make sure that you don't fornicate on a windowsill or something like that, because it's very dangerous, because you could be humping away and fall off, couldn't you, John?
That's right. And that could very easily have an eye out.
Well, now we're going to take a look in the Blue Peter garden. And here we see the frogs have been having a wild time, haven't they,
Yes,
John?
those little sellotape condoms didn't really work, did they?
Well,
I'm sorry to say some vandals got in. It was very disappointing. And they took the sellotape off the frogs. Membra virile.
but never mind. Here you can see we did what we saw in the advert that time, and we put a barbed wire fence along the pond to stop the froggies from getting at each other.
And do
It's worked
remember
quite well.
to wear gloves if it's very cold.
Oh yes, rubber gloves.
Because if it's very, very cold and you're handling barbed wire, you can easily get very cold fingers.
Yes, so wear rubber gloves. One nice little point
Useful
for
tip, that.
Christmas, little thing I've got you, is you can cut the fingers off the rubber gloves and use those for contraception too. I've got a nice little...
Contraception, yes.
sorry.
You may not want a contraception too, but if you do, then that certainly is a pretty handy tip. Now, that's it.
Let's end on that.
If
Thank
you. Don't
you.
mind, I'll keep it.
All right. Well, we'll just end there when we're in at least hailing distance of a taste barrier. 69 points each there. And the next game... Oh, hang on, what is the next game? I've lost my cards. Right, now we get to a game called Rap. This features everybody. And they all love it, don't you? And the idea of this, they just have to make up a rap as they go along on a subject which we'll get somebody to suggest in a moment. So you'd like to come forward ready to do it. We start with John on this one and work down the line.
Contractions have started.
Okay, so a nice broad topic for them to... Sheep shearing, that's a great one, yeah. You do sheep generally, you don't have to concentrate just on the shearing. So we helped on this with the drummer. We've got Ginger Baker this week. Take it away, Ginge.
You gotta button the mutton. Say you button the mutton till your mutton is hurting. It looks like Timothy Hurton. You get the mutton, baby. You get your sheep on the clean, and then you can say you can put it in the pastures that are so green.
Yeah.
Black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said 3 bags full. I said 3 bags full. Get on down, baby. Black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on, sheep, pull up to my bumper. Make me a woolly jumper. Ooh, ooh, you're so sheer. I like to have my sheep real near. I go to Australia and see the men they sweat. I like to see them dripping. Yes, it's my favorite bet. I like to watch sheep shearers. I could watch them all day long because I like sheep best of all. Their loins are good and strong.
Mary had a little lamb. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that kind of thing at all. Yes, I'm terribly fond of shearing sheep. Nothing could be clearer. They call me Norma Shearer. I sheep very hard, and then I sheep very hard again. And I sheared a nice little woolly cardigan. But in fact, sheep, rams, lambs, and ewes are rather make very attractive blouses and other items of clothing. Sheep have a reputation for being stupid, and when it comes to being lovers, I don't think anyone could call them Cupid. But sheep are friendly, and sheep are clean. I think you know what I mean. I don't.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, easily the best rap we've done this evening. So, 2 points each, with a bonus of 1,000 points to Stephen for trying so hard. And that brings us, I'm afraid, to the end of the show, and I total up the points and see, oh yes, well, Stephen has won. And the prize for winning is to read the credits out in a style of my choosing. I'd like you to do it, Stephen, in the style of an American announcer, you know, Quinn Martin production, that sort of thing. So it just remains for me to thank Stephen Fry, Josie Lawrence, N. Rydell, John Sessions, you, the studio audience. This is me, Clive Anderson, saying good night. Good night.
Tonight's episode, Whose Line Is It Anyway? Deadly Affair, starred Clive Anderson, John Sessions, with Stephen Fry, Josie Lawrence, and N. Rydell. Your title music this evening by Philip Pope. Senior cameraman, Martin Hawkins. Your Vision mixer this evening, Roz Story. Tonight's floor manager, Janet Stewart. The costume designer, ladies and gentlemen, tonight this evening was John Hibbs. And the production secretary, Wendy Hill. Tonight's production assistant, Helen Gartell. Your production manager was Mary Bell. Your designer was Pip Godner. And the executive producer, Denise O'Donoghue. The production was consumed, eaten, and packaged to your door by Ansett Airlines and Dan Patterson. Thank you.